Could you hear that when I undid the mic?
Yeah.
Did I catch everybody off guard? I went actually early a couple of seconds. That's new for me. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. It's been a week, I guess. Wow. Let's see who's in here. Everybody's in here. Brock was, I think, one of the first ones in. Robert Mack's here. Who else is here? Mark's here. Tommy J, how you doing, sir? 30 in the wake up. How you doing, Kevin? Kevin, how does it feel to be out of jail? It's got to feel nice.
Oh, there you go.
I did see your video or your live stream on the new pad. Looks pretty cool. Be nice if you could be able to swim. Would be awesome. And Joe's here. And Jake's here. Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Uh,
Jake's there too.
I did. I took the whole week saying I needed to get stuff together and try to figure out. I still never. I didn't come up with anything to talk about.
Freedom.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Freedom.
Oh, it
Wow.
feels wonderful. Yeah, I bet it does. Um, the so hopefully before the next one, I'll I'll have something to talk about. And mainly a lot of I appreciate everybody on this channel. Obviously, you're all a bunch of great people, and they all asked me and emailed me and thinking maybe something was the matter. It really isn't. I'm fine. My health is great. The only thing is that we're getting where they're actually moving on the house, and I need to be over there more and do, we're still having to go look at tile, and there's a lot more things I have to do during the day. But I didn't believe it before, but believe it or not, it takes a lot to put shit together. Like I said, I took a whole week. I couldn't even come up with a topic for what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, everybody's sorry about his pool. Yeah, the place looks pretty good though. It looks awesome. And you're only there for 30 days, right? Or for a month?
I haven't watched it. Sorry, Kevin.
He just kind of shows a little. I think he did a video. I haven't seen the video, but he said he was going to put a video on a walk around through the apartment. But he actually did one during the live stream, and I happened to catch that part of it because I think it was a 3 or 4 hour live stream. He can enlighten us. But yeah, anyway, so things on the house are looking freaking awesome. I just paid for the glass to be delivered. I already paid for the wood and paid half of the labor to make the actual door frame. And then he'll put the glass in it when it comes. And then they'll, I guess, install it when time comes. But all the smooth coat is done. We picked the paint for the outside and the inside yesterday. He already ordered the paint for the outside and is painting because for whatever reason that putting that roof on, he wanted that smooth and painted so when he butts that flashing up against there, there's nothing that has to be done and no leaks, which I'm all for, no leaks. When I did drive by there yesterday, I didn't do a video. I might do one end of this week. More will be done. But they're starting on the ceilings. The roof was there. They should have it up by the end of the week. It only took them like 2 days to do the other one. And I've even got a rendering, so when I do another live stream, and I might do one in 4 or 5 days, I don't know. But I'll give you plenty of time ahead of time. But I'll have she has a rendering of what the house colors are going to look at. I'll try to get that downloaded onto the computer and show you that. Yeah, the house is going good. I don't know what I'm going to do about the little house in the back yet. I don't know. I think I told you guys that they said, yeah, give us a third of the money now and 40,000 baht now, 40,000 baht halfway through and 20,000 baht or whatever it was, 40%, sorry, and he'll have it done for me the end of 22. Well, the end of 22 doesn't work for me.
Right on, Rock.
What about
Very good. Got second jet.
ah.
I'm sorry, Dave. I was reading something. You said something about butts and flashing. What was this?
Yeah, where they flash it up against the house. It
No.
is. Yeah, I know.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris, what's up? Morning. Um, what is it? So, and I told you guys that my wife got me the Moderna, right, in October at my local hospital, so I'll get that. It's a little far off, but she said they're going to actually get the Moderna at the hospital next month, September. So if they do, and some of the people don't take it, kind of like what happened with
Thanks,
Chuck,
Gator.
kind of what happened with Chuck, is they called him in and said, some people didn't take it. We have extra, and they jabbed him. Um, but
Oh wow,
but now
right
he's
on.
leaving. So, but anyway, they said that they would do me in they would do it in September if people declined, and I think there's going to be some that are going to decline. Some of the Thai people are a little bit afraid. Not a little bit; they're a lot afraid.
Yeah, can imagine.
But um, I didn't miss anything, right? You're catching all the comments. Nothing, Mitch.
No,
Mitch, Mitch.
I ain't paying attention.
Government searched. No side effects. He has an arm growing out of the front of his skull, but he figures that's going to be convenient, Brock. And he doesn't consider that a side effect, right, Brock? It's an extra hand, man. Well, who could
There you
not
go.
do with an extra hand? Um, so let's see. House and the people. It came down a little bit. We'll go over that real quick. The depressing stuff came down a little bit from 18 to 17, but not much. The recovery rates way up there, 14, 15,000. So hopefully it drops, which I
Right
think it
on,
will.
Mark.
I
That's
think it
great.
will. And they
Great
also
to
said
hear.
I was reading somewhere that they said that 70% of the United States has had at least one jab, which I thought was pretty good. Sounded good to me. I don't know what it is in here in Thailand.
I was just playing around.
Full
Yeah.
screen, Mr. Bitch. I didn't even see that. The second head. Oh, he's got a second seat, twice the brains, right, Brock? No headaches. Uh, that's not a side effect. It's just scratching the head. And then I guess you guys all heard that Chuck's leaving back for the United States. If you watch that video, if you follow him, which is kind of what my wife wanted me to do. She wanted me to fly back there, get 2 shots of the Pfizer, and come back. But I think they're going to be gone longer than that. He's saying a couple of months. But he's kind of like me. I'm in Jonesing to see my grandkids and my son and my daughter, my mom, my brother. It'd be nice. They call me Mr. Rich. He's famous. Just always got to remember that. Just,
I was. That didn't take very long
and
for
then
people to
Mark, you
notice that.
said all you're waiting for is your certificate of entrance. Everything else, your visa and all that stuff, you're ready to rock and roll, I believe. If you want a guest, I can come up and talk about what is really going on
Hey,
in Bangkok. Cool, cool. Let me put up
I think that would be fantastic.
the link, Kevin. How do I do this again? I'm starting to get used to
And
to
any other
this.
topics people want to talk about,
Yeah,
come
I'm
on
horrible.
up.
I'm horrible. There you go. Um, yeah, I mean, I know it's. I think you said one. I caught bits and pieces of your live stream, but you said you didn't think it was that horrible, right? Well, I guess we're going to find out right now. Let's let Kevin come up. Here we go. There you are.
Hey, hey, what's going on, guys?
What's
Hello.
happening? Yeah, I was just saying. I think that you were saying something about walking around. You were kind of that things were decent, right? Or was I
Yeah, so
mistaken?
it's funny because I watched a lot of the different bloggers that were here in Bangkok, and they made it sound like everything was just abandoned, and like during the day you walk, down a Bangkok street and it's crickets. It's not
Right,
true. I'm right on the On Nut BTS, and if I walk outside, you'll see it. You'll see in one of my videos, not the next one, but the one after, where I'm like going over to the Tesco Lotus, and
right,
like there's 3,000 motorbikes, going through the road. There's taxis everywhere. I took a taxi up to try to get an AIS SIM card. Now those are all closed. All the different stores are closed, like in malls and things. But the
right,
Tesco Lotus is completely open. The Big C is completely open. I can order anything from Grab and it'll be brought to me. I even went on a date here with a woman who was vaccinated. She was like comfortable going on a date with a guy that was vaccinated. Um, it's if you're a
Right
nighttime
on, Tommy.
person, yeah, if you're a nighttime party person, you're probably not going to want to come to Thailand right now. But if you're just, you just like to live your daily life, you can live your daily life. You can't go in the mall and buy a Dolce Gabbana bag right now, but you can go over to the Tesco Lotus and buy whatever the heck you want if you
Right.
need it. And
Yeah,
it's
most of them, they have
yeah,
everything. Like, the big C's and the Tesco Lotus and Macro and even them, they have pretty much everything you could possibly need. Now, I know that when they locked down Surin last year, they had everything in the Macro that I went into during the lockdown because my wife, she doesn't let me out. She doesn't want me to die. So she
yeah.
makes me stay home. They had all the appliances and all that kind of stuff except for food was yellow taped off. You couldn't
Yeah,
buy
they
a
do.
TV. You
Yeah.
couldn't. I
So,
don't know how it is
yeah.
there,
So,
but
so they don't have all that stuff taped off in the Tesco Lotus, but in the Big C, they had they have all the clothes taped off, but you can get them. You just have to order them, and they'll get them for you, and then
I see.
you know what I mean? Like you can still
Okay.
buy the stuff. You just can't go in there and I guess they're worried about people going in there and trying on a shirt and then taking it off, and then someone else
Putting it
coming
on.
and trying on the shirt 10 minutes
Makes
later.
sense. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, it's stuff that
Yeah.
makes sense. But I was in the grocery store in the Tesco Lotus and I filmed like it was probably 7:30 in the morning, and there were hundreds of people in there buying food, buying different things. So it's a little bit over. Like everyone's, it's something I've never done when I've been doing YouTube is like do the doom and gloom thing, or
Right.
been too overly excited about things, right? But every YouTube video I watch about Bangkok, they make it sound like it's like there's going to be tumbleweeds going down the road. But if I walk out here right now, I've got the BTS. I mean, I'll kind of go out. I'm on the 4th floor, but I'm on the pool deck here. I don't want to disturb the lady out here cleaning too much because she'll probably freak out. But I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear hundreds of cars just flying
I'm
by.
turning my head towards the monitor. I got earphones on. Oh, I'm slow.
Yeah, you got the BTS right there, and there's like, I can just hear the traffic just zooming by right now.
Yeah, I think a lot
it's
of
not a
people.
ghost town.
Yeah, the stuff that I've heard, and it's all hearsay stuff. I don't know for sure, but some of the condo complexes and stuff like that have had outbreaks where they've completely locked down the condos and and stuff like that. But it's not gonna. They can't stop living. How
Hello,
are these people
Gary
gonna stop?
and hello, Uli. How's it going?
Hey, Uli. Hey, Gary. Yeah, because they can't do it. They can't do it again. I don't think the people are going to be like that. Like if this was the first one, when I saw some of the videos of Bangkok, was a ghost town.
Yeah.
It was tumbleweeds and everything the last time. I think the people there in Bangkok learned we can't just sit on our hands. We got to go out and try to do something. And hey,
Yeah.
Richard, how are you? I don't know, but this time it seems different.
Hey.
It's not as shut down.
Yeah,
Hi,
I mean,
Richard.
everyone is safe. Like it's not like the U.S. where it's like a political issue whether to like wear a mask. Everyone's in a mask. Everyone's like using getting their temperature taken when they walk in somewhere.
There he is.
Everyone's using different. Hey, Richard, what's going on, man?
Hey, hello. How are you doing?
No, right on.
Hey, how many push-ups did you do today, Kevin? You your 100 push-ups?
100 every morning, man.
Yeah, I
Did
heard
you
about
walk
that in your
around
live
the
stream.
bed? Now you can walk outside. You don't need to walk around the bed anymore, right?
No,
You just
I
go
can
outside
go
and
there. There's actually kind of like a little track on this level, so I could run around here. I tried to run down Sukhumvit yesterday, but all the street vendors are out, and that's like impossible. And I'm not running in the middle of the road there. I'll get killed.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, not a good idea. So, Richard, how many more days and a wake up? What little?
Yeah, well, what's Saturday
analogy?
coming up? What is today?
What's that?
Today's Monday. Yeah.
Yeah,
I got another
not
promo
much
coming out tomorrow. That'll be a funny one, and then we're gonna kind of take a break from the promos. I think maybe one more. I don't know, but
I like them. The more the
Yeah.
better for me.
Me too,
Yeah.
man.
They're awesome, and it looks like a lot of work went into them too.
yeah, I mean
Sure
that's
it
cool.
was.
Like Mr. Mitch was like huge supporter. He helped with a lot of those. Like he gave me critiques on the videos before we sent them out there. So thanks, Mitch, for that.
Thank you.
But-
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
Yeah, so weeks went into those. Like definitely was not easy to do. The one I did today with the banner coming down the Arc de Triomphe, like Kevin probably understands this, having to do that image frame by frame by frame, and that was shot in 60 frames per second, and that was probably a 20-second shot. So 60 times 20, that's how many times I had to paste it in manually.
Yeah, I don't even do that stuff anymore. It just takes it's the risk reward isn't, or the reward doesn't justify the time. But I appreciate people who do it like you.
So how many days left on your quarantine, Kevin?
Oh, I'm in my little hotel here.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's a free man.
Oh, that's Airbnb.
It's nice.
Cool.
That is nice.
Right there, walk out to the pool.
Yeah, $360 for a 2-level condo for 32 days. Everything included.
God dang.
Right next to the
me?
BTS.
Sorry,
right
guys,
next to
that's me.
BTS.
Is that you,
Takes me
Dave?
1 minute to get
That was me.
All right. I know I have new headphones. I'm trying to get everything dialed in, which is why I kind of came on, kind of selfish reasons to test the equipment, make sure everything's good. Hasn't been
Yeah,
used in
they sure are
weeks.
great, Gary. Promos are great, Richard.
Oh, thanks, Gary.
The microphone sounds awesome. The sound sounds
thank you.
great.
Demonetized. I didn't even notice it, Uli. That's funny.
Yeah.
Your
And
shirt.
Uli, I made you a moderator too, if you don't mind.
Kevin, you might get this.
Yeah,
like,
let's call that moderator meeting.
there was like 4 weeks in a row, Kevin, where I had my live stream demonetized. So
Oh,
had,
really?
yeah, bad content, said the wrong words. And
Hey, I was going to ask you, whatever happened, Richard, in that video where you shelled out all the money from everybody that gave to those dancers on the street, and then they demonetized it or something? Did you ever get that back, or or what the hell happened?
Uli.
Actually, I was a little concerned because I had $120 in super
Yeah,
chats.
I know,
and
I
and I
know.
paid it right out to the street dancers. So, long story
remember
short,
that.
I had to like strip out all the songs that were copyright claimed, and then they gave me my money back. Yeah, so I eventually got the 100, but it took like 4 weeks, because YouTube doesn't pay out right away.
Hello.
So.
Yeah, that's why I don't do a lot of live streaming at night around bars, because you're going to get copyright striked for not for inappropriate stuff. You're going to get copyright strike for
Just the slightest song and it's over with. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember one of my friends has a YouTube channel that's really big. They have over 1 million, actually well over 1 million now, subscribers. And the woman sung the song. They were in Cuba, and she said Havana Una La. That's all she did, and they got copyright striked, and they got all the money taken from that video, which got millions of views and given to, I can't remember who sings that song, but whoever sings that song.
Wow.
All she did was say
Man.
Havana, and that's it. And she sung it. It wasn't like they overheard it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like careful of that.
And it's so weird because people don't realize, like, so if you do a live stream and say you get like 3 copyright claims, like 3 songs show up, you get an email from YouTube the next day. The thing that sucks is you can only do 1 copyright claim at a time. So you go into the video, you say, all right, take this song out, delete the audio, and you have to wait for YouTube to process it. It takes about a day. And then the next day you can do the next one. So if you have 3, that's 3 days of work of going back and forth. So as much as people say, like, don't worry about the claims, like you'll figure it out, it takes time. It's
Now,
like time
now,
out of the day.
I don't know because I'm not monetized, but
You're getting there though.
I'll get there eventually. It's like a milestone for me. I really don't. The only thing I know I can do is I can use YouTube to live stream, which I don't really need because I can use StreamYard at my house too, outside. But I have one left. The other ones I deleted that they said there was they didn't ever email me anything saying you have a copyright this or that, and maybe they don't do that until you get monetized. I don't know, but I have one left up there that has 1 song in it, and I've got to delete. I'm just going to delete the video. I mean,
as long as you're
remove
not
the video.
monetized, it's fine. You can put whatever music you want into a.
So then when I'm monetized, then they will send me an email, and then they'll
just don't
whatever
monetize that video.
Okay, all right.
I can do a video tomorrow with the whole, I don't know, the whole Pantera playlist.
Everything from the Eagles.
Yeah, everything from the Eagles.
Don Henley's a stickler on that.
Hotel California, which if you walk anywhere in Thailand, you will get a copyright claim for, because Hotel California plays everywhere. But if I played a video tomorrow with that on there and I didn't monetize it, you're fine. Actually, you're helping the artist, because then people will go and buy that go buy
Now
that
you
song.
can
So they don't
actually
care. As
you
long as
can
you're not
actually pay
profiting from
the.
it.
Now, if you can actually find out who that is and get permission from them, right? And pay them or
Yeah, well,
whatever.
Yeah.
Dave, so check it out. So I did this similar thing. Sorry, Kevin.
No, go ahead.
So I usually get my music from Epidemic or YouTube Studio, right? So I don't have any issues with copyright stuff. But I was on this place called Audio Jungle, and I found this great song. It was "Let's Go, Let's Go." It was so catchy. I actually licensed the song. I paid $20, and I got
I
all these
froze.
different formats of the song, which was great. But get
Oh, there we
this.
go. Okay.
YouTube actually copyright striked, or didn't strike me. They claimed me on the song. I got 4 claims. So I emailed the artist saying, listen, man, so, I paid for this song from you. He's like, yeah, it just happens automatically. So we've been in the process of clearing it up for 2 weeks now. And that's one of my promo videos I want to publish, but because there's 4 copyright claims, I figure I won't get any views because it'll probably get shadow banned. But I paid $20 and I still got a copyright claim.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, I get a copyright claim about once a week, and
Do you?
usually it's on. Yeah, usually what happens is somebody in China or somewhere will go into one of my videos, and like especially my old videos where I did a bunch of cinematic stuff, and they'll take out a clip and they'll put it in their database that they're selling clips, and I never know about it, and then someone will copyright claim my video because of that clip. I get them all the time. I just got one 2 days ago, and I just, I go in there and tell YouTube, hey, look, this is my video. If you watch the video in its entirety, you'll see it's me filming that scene. Like the other day, I got copyright claim on a scene that I did in the Wakachina Desert by a Japanese company, and that sells clips. So they're selling my clip. So I could probably sue them if I wanted to. But yeah, I got copyright claimed, and I went back to YouTube and said, hey, look, watch the video in its entirety. You'll see it's mine. Today it was cleared up and it was taken off my copyright strikes. It's something you have to deal with as a YouTube content creator. I don't get it so much anymore because my videos are talking head. Like nobody wants to sell this like egghead. But when I did similar stuff, people steal those clips all the time, especially the ones in 4K. They steal them and then they post them on those websites that sell video clips because they don't want to go out and do the work themselves.
Oh, wow.
And then I'll get copyright claimed on those. It happens with my old videos.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, happens with my old videos all the time that don't make any money anyway.
I'm so
See, I
glad
don't
I'll
ever
never have
take
to
it-
worry
I-
about that.
Yeah, I don't have any quality shots of anything, so I don't think anybody's going to steal crap from me.
It's so funny. Like, I think it was about 4 months ago, I got an
Actually,
email from a
someone
guy.
did, Dave.
I got an email from a guy
That's
saying,
true.
you used my face. I'm walking on Walking Street in the daytime, only one on the road, and that's me. I was thinking like, well, go pound sand, man. I'm not taking you out or blurring your face. But he was so nice in the email. He's like, I'm going through a divorce. I don't want her to like, you make this into a big thing, see my face on there. So he actually explained who he was and everything in the video. I had to go back into YouTube Studio and blur his face. I did such a crappy job of it. But it made him happy. I kind of took him out. I don't know if that's ever happened to you, Kevin, like having to take people's faces out of videos.
Yeah, I'm not really a nighttime guy anyway. I don't go to bars and stuff like that. But that's where you're going to run into the issues because especially in Thailand, if you're in Pattaya or somewhere like that, that's always been my issue with people who film down there. Is there's a lot of people that probably don't, whether it's because of their profession or, things in their personal life, you do have to be very careful of that kind of thing because if you're walking around Walking Street, you probably don't want your face out there in the public that you're on Walking Street. It's not like you're in a food. So I'm not dogging anybody who does it. I'm just saying I'm very cognizant of that because I was, in the military for 20 years and I know a lot of guys who did some pretty crazy stuff that they probably wouldn't want their significant others to know about. And so we didn't have camera phones back then, thank God. But so I'm very cognizant of that kind of thing and very careful. But I think if you're just like walking down like, a street food road, nobody's going to really care if they're on those videos. But when it's more into the red light districts, whether you're in Amsterdam or you're in Pattaya or you're in Las Vegas, you got to be really careful of that. For the reasons that guy pointed out. So
Yeah.
and I'm not dogging anybody who does it. Like go do it. I'm very cognizant of that kind of thing, myself personally.
So I want to introduce you guys to a new guest I'll have on the show. This guy's name is Otto. Say hello, Otto. He actually
Otto.
takes super chats.
Is that your super chat?
That's my super chat guy.
Hey, Rang Sant, how are you? Who else came in? Stuck. Let me just say hello to a couple of people here. And Uli's there. Yeah, that's it. That was quick. Oh, also, just so you guys know, what did I buy? I bought a Click 2010. My wife's brother, cousin, they're all brothers, in Ubon. He has a scooter place and needs some dough and stuff. And anyway, I had that 125 Yamaha. I gave that to the brother. They're all brothers. I don't know how to do that. That's building my wall. I gave it to him as a perk because he didn't have a scooter, and
That's
so I
cool.
bought this one. Yeah, and my Forza is awesome, but driving it around town, I didn't buy it for that. Now with the side bags on it, the back, everything on
It's a
it.
big bike.
Yeah, so the it's an older Click. It's small, but it runs. It only had like, I don't know, 30,000 kilometers on it, and it runs like a top. And he went through everything on it for me, and so I got that. That got delivered. I sent my father-in-law out this morning with the Wave that I have the one video on that I redid. He was the one that redid that one, completely put new plastics, motor, disc brake, everything on it. It was my wife's first scooter, and that one was up for the tag. The truck was up for the tag, and to change the name on the scooter, we loaded up the two scooters in the back of the truck and gave my father-in-law 7,000 baht and sent him down the road. He'll probably spend all day doing all that. God bless him, 75 years old, and yeah, so that'll all get done today, which will be nice. I ordered a back box for the
That's awesome.
for the 125.
What
Yeah,
what
I
year
like
is the
those
Wave?
clicks. The Wave is old. It's carbureted. It's a 100S. I'm trying to think of the only thing that he didn't do correctly, which I'm kind of a stickler on, especially on carburetors, is I took it apart, cleaned it, got the parts, put it back together, and it ran 200 times better. I'm not big on carbureted stuff. All my Harleys were, obviously, except for my new one. But so I'm used to doing carburetors. But I don't think they were at one time, I'm sure, because they had 9 million two-strokes here. That was the sound of Thailand, 25, 30 years ago, was two-strokes and, expansion chambers and shit. So, but they've kind of lost the art. No one wants to screw with that. They got fuel injection. I don't want to screw with it. So this one's fuel injected. It has to be probably one of the first ones in 2009, I think. And it's a little bit smaller than the Clicks are today, but it's perfect. For 12,000 baht, it was like,
Yeah, I
what
think
the
those
hell.
smaller ones are probably good around town and stuff too, huh, Dave?
Yeah,
'Cause they're
exactly.
smaller and stuff.
Yeah. I can throw it
Yeah.
around. My PCX was actually perfect for me because I'm a pretty big guy, but it's fine. It's perfect, and it really goes. I was really surprised. I opened it up and I was really surprised at the power, but still nothing like the Forza. The Forza's freaking awesome.
Dave, I see in the chat we have like almost everyone in the chat are people that commented on my last couple promo videos. Just wanted to say thank you for all the great comments because it's really cool seeing all the positivity coming in for the promo videos. So thank you for everyone. And then Kevin, I want to tell you, I watched one of your new videos. I guess it's like from a couple months ago. It's carry-on packing with only a carry-on. Remember that video? That's a good video, man.
Yeah.
Some good advice in there. People should check that
Yeah.
out. That's a good one.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about that too because I told Kevin that I have the Air Asia pass, and the big thing on that is, it only cost me 300 baht to fly back and forth from Buriram to Bangkok round trip, with that pass. But the big
Nice.
thing is you can only have 7 kilo.
Oh,
So
that's not much
if
at
you're
all,
going,
yeah.
if you're going for it, so that's what you have to strategic. I didn't watch it. I want to watch it.
It's
So
a good
I'll watch
video.
it.
It's a good video. Yeah. Well done,
I
man.
want to watch it. Yeah, I want to watch it because that was the first thing you said when I had mentioned that to Kevin. He goes, "Oh, I do that. That's what I like to do. One bag. So
I've been
I will
traveling
check
one
that.
bag for 3 years, man.
Yeah, I want to check out that
Mainly
video.
the backpack.
Yeah,
That's
because
it.
that's what it is. 7. Although they never weighed the whole time I was doing that last year. They
never
never
weighed
they
the
never weighed
carry-on?
my bag. They never weighed
Yeah,
my
if
bag.
your bag is small enough, usually they won't even bother because they'll look at it and just be like
It's
my
fine.
bag's usually way too much. I have like a secret that I do if I need to, if I know they're gonna weigh it. I have this little like pull out electronic thing that I just pull it out and set it at my feet when I go up
Right.
there. Um, but if your bag is low profile enough, like mine's
They
only
don't
20
bother.
liters, only about that thick on my back. It just looks like a normal backpack. They're not like they're, especially if you're in a big line trying to get on Air Asia, like they're just, they're not
Yeah,
going to bother.
the thing that was the most for me is if you wanted to go somewhere for, like I went to Hue for 7 days without my wife or girlfriend at the time, but carrying laptop, nah, wouldn't happen with me. My laptop weighs too much, and then my big camera, my 70D, I couldn't take that, but I don't really need it. So my
Yeah.
mirrorless and my GoPros, yeah, and my phone, yeah, exactly.
That's all I use
Not a
to film
problem.
now. My
You
phone.
know, I was talking to Mitch about that too. Do you need all this crap that I got? No, I don't think so. You get a good phone now, and you can get some awesome video. You know, but
Yeah.
I like my GoPro 9. I do like it. A lot of people
Yeah, I
say
do
that
have a GoPro 9 too. I do have that. That's actually awesome. The
I like it.
stability in that thing is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, exactly. Because it makes
Yeah.
it easier for me. I don't have to sit there and worry. Although I do have I don't know what I did with it. I really like this gimbal. Uh, this is the Pocket. And that's it. And it screws in,
That's
and
cool.
yeah, and it snaps up. This comes loose. The head comes loose, and there's your. And it's
Yeah,
real
that's
light.
awesome.
It's nothing,
Yeah.
and it was cheap. It's the I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the vlog Pocket, and it's made by that. I think it starts with an Feiyu. And
Yeah,
I
I
have
use
two
the
of them.
Z1. That's the brand that I use. But
Do you?
Kevin, I don't know if you found this to be the case. Like, I find a lot of vloggers don't use the gimbal properly. They hold it straight up and down, and you have to hold
Yeah.
it at an angle. So
Yeah.
if you angle it, that's when you get the benefit of the gimbal. But so many vloggers straight up and down. It's like, why even have a gimbal at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
definitely.
lazy.
I used to haul around all this huge camera equipment, including a big Zhuyin or whatever it is,
Yeah.
gimbal. And yeah, I learned that lesson in the beginning. Your gimbal's got to be like this. The phone gimbals are a little bit different now. Like I use just a DJI for this, even though the
Mm.
stability in this, actually 90% of the time I'm just using this because this in
Is that
the
an 11
12
or what?
Pro Max,
12.
yeah, the 12 Pro Max, it actually has stability. It's got ABIS, which is built into the sensor stability. So this thing
Right.
is super, super smooth now, almost as good as the GoPro 9 without a gimbal. So I only break out the gimbal for a live stream, to be honest with you now, because the equipment is getting so good. I mean, I'm sure the next level up, the iPhone 13, will be even better. But this is almost as good as like my $5,000 Sony camera. Like it doesn't have the versatility of being able to change lenses,
Lenses,
but
right?
it's better stability wise. It's like it's almost as good, and it's just going to keep getting better. And
Well,
people are just
the
going to keep
last
filming
the
these.
last the last one that I bought was the 8, the big one. Okay, and when did that come out? 6 years ago? I don't even know.
Yeah,
What would it be?
yeah,
8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
maybe more than
whatever.
that.
I still haven't figured out everything that the damn thing will do, and I
Yeah,
paid more for that than I did for my laptop. For my
yeah,
freaking iPhone. It's
That's
like
true. That's true.
$1,000. 6 years
yeah.
ago, I
This
paid
thing
a
was
thousand
expensive.
dollars for that. Yeah, I paid a
Yeah, but
thousand
you
for
know what?
that.
It replaces for a one bag
Your
traveler like me.
cameras, right,
It
right.
replaces everything. I mean, I still have my GoPro because I like to, jump off a bridge into water sometimes. But like to be honest with you, I just rather shoot with this because I can
Now,
just.
is that one waterproof? Because I know my 8 is.
That is.
Or yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
it actually can go. It says 3 meters. I don't know about that, but I don't know if I'd trust that. But
Yeah, I wouldn't think I'd trust
but I
mine
can
either.
I can dip it in water. But the GoPro's is better underwater, so I use the GoPro. But yeah, I mean this thing is. I think you're going to see more and more people just go to these as they get better and better and better.
Yeah,
It just saves
the only other
time.
thing,
You know? So
this is another thing that I got that I really like. And I know the Rode is good too, Rode, whatever you say it. But this Comica,
Yeah, I have the Road, but yeah.
this one now they come out with the dual. This one I have dual stereo or two people, deals.
that's
But
cool.
I'll never probably do interviews. Richard would probably be more of that, deal if he ever gets people in when he gets
Yeah,
here.
you do it
But
from a.
I really
cafe.
like this. I really like it
Yeah.
because it's adjustable. It goes from, I think the other one does too. It goes from 0 to 12 on the minus and negative on the dB. Is it dB or whatever?
Yeah.
And it's really a good. It's a little bit bigger than the Rogue, but I really like it. It's about the same price. I think the Rogue's a little bit more expensive. Oh, Gator's trying to get in. Sorry, Gator.
All right, guys. I'm going to take this opportunity. First of all, I should say hello to Gator, but I was going to take off as well.
I think he left. I think he got mad.
Up there, how darn it! Say hi to
Hi.
Jake. There he is.
There he is.
What's up, Gator
Sorry
Jake?
about that. I was looking at that. I look down there. I go, oh, because when it comes up, it's faded, and what I have to do is activate the noise sound so it boinks me when someone comes in. So I'll change that now.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm still getting like a little bit of an echo in my headphones. I got to figure out what's causing this.
Yeah, but
between now and Saturday.
hold on 1 second. Let me cancel on, because I've got it on stereo now. Let me take it off of stereo and put echo. Does that make a difference, or is it the same?
No, I think that did make a difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had the echo cancellation off.
Oh, I wonder if that's
And
what
the
I was
stereo.
hearing.
You
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
got better sound to me now. Just then, it went up
Yeah.
a couple of.
Sounds better.
All right,
So
that's
leave it
good.
where it is now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so now Richard
Much
doesn't
better.
have to run around
Yeah.
in circles for
Yeah,
no
I thought it
reason.
was me, but I guess that's awesome. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Check that off. All right, cool. Looking good for
Hey,
the show.
Waza, haven't seen you in a while, Waza. How are you doing? Yeah, it's been a while.
What's up, Gator Jake?
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm just really excited about Richard and the live show coming back. I mean, that's big
Me
news
too. Me
Yeah.
too.
here among the community that we all share. And and Kevin, he was 30 in a wake up, but it was all back in the States, and now he's like 30 in a wake up, like in Thailand. So I think we've got a lot of new a lot of new content going on, and there's lots of stuff that we, frankly, for myself and my wife, we are just like really excited about. So pardon my stumbling here, but we are like really enjoying all of the content that we're seeing. And when you popped up like 2 days ago, I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. So thank you,
Richard's
all
a
of you guys
superstar.
for what you
Richard's
guys
a-
do.
Yeah, bro.
Richard's a superstar. Well, what I was going to ask you was, now, it's Kevin's going to be on, right?
September 11th, he is.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that.
I was
And then,
actually
That's rather appropriate to have Kevin on for September.
I think it's
11th,
gonna.
by
I
the
think
way.
it's gonna be good. Yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Yeah,
'cause
exactly.
I'm going
Appropriate.
to be a complete disaster.
Not even.
No, it'll be good for you because when in your switch in the genre deal, it's gonna be
Yeah.
good for you,
Yeah,
and it's gonna
sure.
be good for Richard. We're both.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
like-
to get all of his subscribers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I can get it. I mean, I have a lot of subscribers, but I don't have a lot of watchers now. But I do have a loyal, live stream watching fan base of around 200 people. So hopefully I can get all those people into your live stream.
Yeah, you know what else I was? Did you say something about Esquire and you were gonna hook up with him about something about trying maybe a van thing or talk to him about a
I
van?
mean, I don't
deal?
know him from Adam, but I'm assuming he's a lawyer. So maybe I have that little in. I'll be like,
I don't know if
hey,
he's a lawyer. I don't know if he's
I
a
don't know.
lawyer or not, but he's a nice
He's
I don't
guy.
not
think he is.
Kevin, he's not a lawyer.
Yeah, I don't think so. But he's a nice guy.
He's
Hey,
a
he's-
nice
he's-
guy.
He's genuinely a nice person. I
Well,
think.
that's
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. I mean, I prefer a nice guy over a lawyer any day of the week, anyway.
And he's done
Yeah.
the most that I've seen. Well, I haven't really looked up, camping, van camping in Thailand. I'm sure there are, but he did it to a little extent where they went out for a couple of days and pitched
Yeah.
a tent or stayed in the van or whatever. But I still think that if you mix those two, you might have some fun. Well, eventually, when you
No,
go down.
I agree. I would love to do some of that here in Thailand. Like just trying to figure it out would be, because there's just not a lot of stuff out there.
Well,
And you guys,
I'm about this close to finishing off that Forza with motor camping, and I might try it. My wife is not going to like it at all, but all I need right now, I've already got my cooking stuff. I've already got my chair, my breakdown chair. I need like my tent, my sleeping bag, and all that. I've got a 90-liter bag that'll go across the back of the bike and the two side containers, and I've got about just about as much storage as I had on my Triumph 955i. The same thing, two side bags, a top bag, and a dry bag. And but the only thing I'm a little leery of, the cobras kind of freak me out. Snakes and bugs.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that would be my one bugaboo in Thailand.
But what I would do first, I think, is they have some up in the mountains. First off, I have to have a battery operated big fan, 12-inch. I don't know if you've seen them. They've got lithium batteries and they USB charge, so you can run it all night long, because I can't do heat. So it has to be semi cool at night. So it's only certain times of the year, and I would probably go to an actual campground that's all level, all the weeds are taken down, have showers, at least for the first couple. And then if I get a little rambunctious, I'll head out into the middle of nowhere. So I'll either get killed by a snake or my head chopped off, one of the two. But that'll make a good video. I'll get a lot of views on that. Watch Dave get his head whacked off. But
no,
anyway,
man, don't.
Something I want to try. Yeah, I think I really enjoyed it. I only did it 3 times before my wife passed away, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun. I was getting a little old, so I think I'm going to carry a cot this time to get me higher off the ground, so I don't have to get up and down so much, and a little bit bigger tent. But I've got plenty of room. My wife won't go with me, so it'll just be me. But maybe people will watch, maybe they won't. But I'll probably do it anyway, just for fun, because I want to do it. I want to do.
You should check out a YouTube channel called Slim Potato Head. He does that up in Canada, but you can kind of get an idea of how to shoot the video for that, because this video, I mean, he's got a huge following.
Well, I know Mitch is probably already on looking it up and getting a link.
I missed the first word.
Slim Potato Head. He
Slim. Oh, yeah.
In the middle of nowhere out in Canada, and pretty good.
I think it would be fun. I like I said, I've never been. If it wasn't for Joe, I wouldn't be doing this right now, Foreigner Joe, because he was the one that said, just do it, stay behind the camera at first, and didn't want to look at myself, didn't want to see myself, didn't want to hear myself. Now I can't shut myself up, so it's like, it's an amazing transition. So
I'll tell you, I remember that, Dave, the interview with you from Foreigner Joe, and let me tell you something. That was really inspiring to me, that your now wife, right? I mean, at that time it was your girlfriend. Just so much support and everything for you. That was so incredible.
Yeah, I can't believe
I love the video.
It's going to be a year this month. We'll be married on the 1st.
Is it that long?
The 1st of September is our wedding anniversary, and I did the interview with Joe, I think a week and a half before that. So we're it'll be a year old in a couple of weeks. He's a great guy too, by the way. The man is a stand-up man. I mean, he's actually too nice. He's way nicer than I would be even now. But he does. I don't think he's got a mean bone in his body. Sometimes he gets a little agitated, but so does everybody. I mean, you get somebody that hits a nerve or something. It's a little bit harder for me because I really don't give a crap. But
well, I'm looking around and myself not included here. I'm looking around at the folks that you attract here, and you've got a senior master chief or a master chief up here, and some other folks who have done some great things for our country. And I'm like, when I see these people and they're traveling the world, I'm just really impressed by all of what they've got to offer us here with their commentary, etc. With like Kevin and Mr. Mitch and so many other people that
Yeah,
you
there's
bring
a
on.
lot of them are all of that stuff. Chuck is, Joe is, most of the people, because I mean,
Yep.
believe it or not, the people that, because I was the exact opposite, because I was running around with motorcycle people. That's all I'll say about that.
It's okay.
It
It's
was
okay.
still, it
It's
was
okay.
still, they considered, or we considered, people civilians, just like service people consider, ordinary people. I want to say ordinary. I have more of the hardest thing, I think, from being in the service or being around that thing, is you think you're better than other people. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's the hardest thing. I had a friend that was up in Reading, probably my closest friend, and he was racing midgets and sprints with his son. And then there was another guy who was from
Whoa! Stop talking about midgets when I'm on this. All right.
another club, but he was in that mentality, and I had to explain it to my friend, because he goes, "This guy talks down to me," and the man is the smartest man I've ever seen. His IQ is above Einstein. That's how intelligent he is. You never know. Levi's T-shirt, just people, someone I grew up in, very, very good man. And I had to explain it to him, and then he said, okay, it makes sense. And it does, because until you get rid of that mentality, you look down at people. You say, oh, this guy's just this, and he's not as good as me. And bullshit. We all put our pants on the same way, and that, no one's better than me, and I'm not better than anybody. And I had that problem with my buddy. We made a lot of money in air conditioning. He made more than me. And we both grew up together from like fourth grade, right? And we spent 25 years in the air conditioning business with one argument. And that was when I walked out. But during that time, he started going to operas and stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. But he was doing it because the people that he was hanging around with were expecting him to be, upper here. I go, what the hell are you going there for? Do you like it? Well, no, not really. Then why? Why you got to go, So I don't know. It just, it's kind of a thing. But most of the people that are like that, I found, that understood what people are, how to respect people, how to give respect, and how to get respect, are the ones that I want closest to me. I don't want people that are just, wishy-washy, whatever. And everybody that's in here, I haven't met anybody that I don't consider good people. I mean, I'm lucky. If I never get monetized and I stay at 500 sub, I'm a happy guy. If I keep the people that come in here and want to listen and participate and have a good time, that's all I want. In Richard's case, I want to see Richard get 1 million subscribers, make the money he needs to make, and move his
Well,
ass.
I think we all want to see that, man. That's all what we want to see.
That would be that's what I would like to see.
Well, thanks for that. I think with that in mind, I got to probably exit out the side door here.
Okay.
I got to go finish a
All right.
video. Think tomorrow's promo video will be Minions and
Okay.
Godzilla.
All right.
Minions and Godzilla.
Cool. I'm
Mitch
looking
has seen
forward to
it.
it.
Mitch has
Thanks.
seen it.
Thanks,
All right.
Richard.
Thanks,
Thank you.
All
everybody.
right,
Thanks,
Richard.
Richard.
If I get the opportunity, I might throw you a
Hey,
video
TT, how's
from,
it going, buddy?
from a lake
Sounds
Awesome,
great, man.
man.
I look forward to it.
above the Sunshine State here. So if I
Hey,
get a
TT.
chance, all right.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good night, everyone.
Joe, I'm
I'm gonna do it. Oh, with Richard Lowe. Hey, TT's here too. I just saw.
Yeah.
And did we ever find out why Cherie could not get on? Did we ever figure that out? Mitch?
I didn't. Maybe she didn't want
But
to.
yeah, but that could be. But you said that she got a hold of you and said, "I can't get. It won't let me. It won't let me on."
That
We
was as far as it went that night when we were
Hey
on
Don,
the
how you
stream.
doing? Huh? Well, ask TT to tell her to try again, and see what it is, because I'm curious. I don't. I mean, she doesn't have to watch if she doesn't want to, but I don't want her to not be able to. Took a first date. Okay, let's look at some of the comments. I guess. Let's see.
You know that Maybe
Better.
I don't want to put him on the spot.
What's that?
Anybody that wants to come on, Dave will put the link up.
Somebody want to come on?
No, I'm just saying that. It's your channel.
Hey, we're just having fun. You know, time flies when you're having. It's already been 50 minutes. Of course, that's nothing to Kevin. That's like a mere drop in the bucket.
No, I mean Kevin.
Not over three,
That
4
sounds
hours.
fun.
Kevin's like the 3.5 hour live stream
That-
guy.
That was during quarantine.
Right on,
Crazy
you mojo.
shit, man.
That's what I would have done too. I mean, why not? You're sitting there by yourself. Why not talk
There you
to
go,
100
TT.
people or whatever? You know.
In the future, my
Oh.
live streams are going to be outside. Hopefully, I went down a street famous for street food the other day here near on Newt, and there was a bunch of street food. So they were out conducting. So I think the next live stream I'm gonna go down that street and show people a little bit of what Thailand looks like in normal times. I know it's not as active as it normally is, but there was probably 100 street food vendors down the street. So.
I hope you're not
You were-
heading to the hospital. What's Uli heading to the hospital for? Heading to the hospital. Have a great day. I hope
Yeah.
you're okay, dude.
Good luck with that. Yeah. Getting his wound dressed on his leg.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
I think people would be
Thanks,
interested
Uli.
in seeing that because everybody, Kevin, is everybody wants to film doom and gloom. You know what I mean? Let's go down here. There's nothing open here. Let's film this shit and send it out. You know, what good does that do? Everybody knows that places are closed. I think they'd be interested to see the places that are actually doing business, you know?
I'm not a party guy, so nightlife being closed doesn't impact my life. If you just live a normal life in Thailand, it's not much different. You can't go to the mall and buy a Dolce & Gabbana purse right now, but you can go into Tesco and, get whatever you need. You can walk around and, enjoy the fresh air. You can jump on the back of a Grab bike and go to, down Sukhumvit, to a street food vendor that you like.
I would think people would be very interested in that. Now, how are you finding I think you said something about you liked one of the foods you got, but it was very, very spicy, but you said you like spicy food. You know what I found out? Go ahead.
Yeah, I do like it burned my face. Yeah, it burned my face off.
I do too. The kids laugh when I have my hat off and my bald head is just pouring out sweat, to where it's running down to my eyes. But I like it. My mother-in-law, from the point now it'll be almost 3 years that I've been here. I've always liked spicy, but now I found myself I can eat stuff that's 2 or 3 times as spicy as I could when I first got here. Like what she makes me lamu now without the salt and tries to get it's really good, still good. I have her, she probably puts like maybe 5 or 6 Thai chilies in there. And then I have to have her chop up 3 more and I put those in there. But don't get me wrong, it's just pouring off me, and the kids just sit there and laugh, but when I first got here, I couldn't eat the papaya salad that my wife had. Because I just took a bite of it like normal. It just about killed
Used to be my favorite.
People don't realize papaya salad will wreck you if you get it like Thai style.
Oh, yeah.
Papaya salad is the worst.
Yeah, the 18-year-old daughter, the one that does
That's
the traditional Thai dance, she can eat and eat and eat and eat. Even when they sit down to eat, they'll sit for maybe 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and they eat and they're done. And nope, she's there for another 20, 30 minutes still. When we went to that steak place that I did a couple of videos on, they have a pork steak that's about this big, yay wide, French fries, a salad. She ate 3 of those.
Yep.
Yeah, and she's this big around. It's amazing. And now they're doing I gave her my old computer, and I think I'm going to get a new one because I just can't stand this freaking computer. But and I'll give this one to her, and she'll give the other one to the youngest 16-year-old. But they're doing all their stuff from home. They belong to like a Julian Arts or whatever in New York. An art school, big school. And the one does traditional Thai dance. The other one is in singing, and then all their regular curriculum. But that's closed. So they've been here. We got them out the night before the the lockdown in Bangkok, or the so-called lockdown. We had them get on a bus and brought them home.
Oh, it's not a lockdown.
Yeah, I know.
Because then they'd have
And
to pay for
Hey,
something.
yeah, that's what my wife says. If they call it a lockdown, they have to supplement the people, which the government is giving them some. It's not much. I think it's 500 baht a month. And I told her, I just said, we need to, I really enjoy giving back to the Thai people because I've gotten so much. I was this close to not caring about anything when I got here. And now I can't wait to live to be, 75, 85, whatever. As long as I'm not having to have a diaper, I'm ready to live. So
I'll tell you what, I've been throwing some money at some of things like Bangkok Community and 5-Star Marine and some of these other places that are just doing God's work, really.
yeah, I want to get some from my wife, a couple of local ones, because I said that after that video that I did, that I wanted to get a couple of the local charities and put it up on my deal so you guys could get the links anyway. That's why I said I got to get a little bit more involved in my videos and live streams, because I say stuff and I procrastinate, as you guys know.
So Kevin, you're like at ground zero there. So if you discover some of these places that are great charities that are like legit,
Yeah.
please post them so that we can support those too.
Yeah.
I tell you,
what I've been doing in Thailand is just walking around, because there's, I mean, always in Bangkok there's homeless people, but now it's obviously a little bit more prevalent. So I've been just carrying, 20, 50 baht bills with me and just giving out, because that's nothing for me. I don't like to put that on videos because I don't want to seem like I'm trying to off.
No, you don't want to spotlight yourself like you're. Hey, look at me! I'm doing this.
I don't do it for that anyway. I don't even. I feel very uncomfortable even talking about it. But another thing I do is
it's okay here.
I buy from the street vendors too, because those. I mean, the great thing about Thai people is they're probably like the most entrepreneurial people in the world. Like they just start. They just go out and start a business. Right when they lose their job, they just. Whatever skill they have, they go out. If they can cook well, they go out and they sell stuff. Like there's a guy selling like masks, and I needed a new mask, so I went to him. That's another way that I like to do it. It's not really charity, but it's like instead of going into the Tesco Lotus, I'll buy fruit down on the little street food lane where it goes to local people that are trying to make ends meet. So
Mitch put up a couple of them.
Here's a few links of some folks that are doing some really good work as well.
Good. Yeah, the thing with me, the reason
no affiliation with them,
that I kind of did it was because my wife wanted to do it. I mean, we both wanted to do it, but we filmed it because first off, I didn't have any videos out. Be a little bit selfish, but she said, because first I was going to do the same thing, Kevin. I was going to go down and get a whole crap load of 20 bahts bills, and then we were going to just drive around and just give it out. She said, "No, not good. Let's get food. Let's give them food, not
that's
money."
A good idea.
Yeah, and so that's what we're going to do. But I just wanted people to more so not saying, "Oh, good, look what I did." Is that this is what's happening in Thailand right now? This is what, not so much the one I did. The next one that I do, where we go down into the to the areas that are the homeless and stuff, which he said there are some here. That's what I want to show, because that one still, I don't know if you watched it, that one that Johnny did. Johnny, there's something happening. Is that the name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Johnny.
That really struck a nerve with me, that these people, they need help. And there's plenty of people like you. Like you said, it doesn't matter to me. If I go out and give out 20 baht bills, 1,000 worth, it's nothing. $30. It's and that's the same way I am. It's no big deal to me, but it's a big deal to them. Them to get 500 baht for the month. Some of my aunts, or my wife said, or my aunts and uncles now. There's only 4, and I'm going to start giving them enough money each month so that I know they have enough. Now we're in Isan, so pretty much everybody in Isan has rice. So I answered that in another question, or even in the video, I think I did. My wife said, no, they don't need rice. They have rice. Almost every family here in Surin or in Isan, they have property with rice on it. So they have rice. So that's why she wanted to get more of the fish, the noodles.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we got the mackerel.
I mean, that's the
and stuff.
good thing about a country like this is that they have so much rice, that it's a little bit easier to endure something like this. I mean, that's one good. I mean, hopefully things turn around really quickly and things go back to normal. But
yeah, because the people,
a lot of that commodity.
Like you said, they're entrepreneurial. They like I said before, they're not running to the government saying, gimme. I don't have any work, give me money. They don't have that option, first off, pretty much. But they just go, like I said, they'll go down and that one lady outside of the barbecue place we went to. I come out at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. And here's this 80-year-old woman pulling a freaking trailer full of grass. And I asked my wife, what the hell is she doing? Said she's picking grass to feed to sell for the people that want to feed their cows, their cows. What does she make? Maybe 10, 20 baht, she said. I said, here, go give her I had 200 baht left in cash. Now, here, give her the 200 baht. Tell her not to work for a few days. Take a break. She won't take a break. I know good well that she's going to be there the next night picking that stuff no matter what I gave her. And that's just the way they are. They need to eat. They'll go down and fish in the little stream and catch 2 fish like this and feed their family, with rice. So they're just I'm in total awe of some of the stuff that the Thai people, and they're always smiling, no matter how bad things are. They got a smile from ear to ear, even if they get nothing. Even my father-in-law, I give him 100 baht to get gas and stuff, and you think I gave him $100,000. I gave him a scooter. Hell, you thought I mean, he didn't know how to act. He's never had. He usually borrowed my wife's scooter, took her to work, used her scooter to go fishing. He throws the net, and then come back and pick her up. Now he's got his own scooter. He's on top of the freaking world at 75, And again, always smiling, never nothing, I don't know what you would do to a Thai person to get them pissed off at you, especially if they were sober. I mean, you'd have to really do something really bad, to get them to put a frown on their face and get angry. I just don't see it.
Kevin, you gotta probably work yourself up into a real way to find people who really are upset about things, because of what, like Dave is talking about. I mean, people are just, they're a lot of people are very self-sufficient and such, where they're finding happiness amongst themselves. But you're there now in Thailand where there's just so much, well, frankly, just people down on their luck who have no idea how to raise things up. So I'm interested to see going forward what you have and what you project.
Now, how long are you going to be in Bangkok? 30 days?
I have this condo for a month, and then I'm going down to Pattaya for a month. If I don't know if I'll be able to. I don't even know what the rules are for transiting down there right now. So we'll see.
I think if you're going from deep red to deep red, I think you're okay. But you'd have to say, I'm moving here. I'm getting a place they might want to see. In other words, what they don't like is people traveling. Why are you going there? I'm vacationing. No, that don't work. That doesn't work.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I'll just get another place here in Bangkok. Just to speak to what you said, Jake, I've noticed that. So it's kind of like the U.S., except for in the U.S., we had a little bit of a safety net thing going on. But there is a certain percentage of the population that is struggling, but there's also a bigger percentage, especially here in Bangkok, that are just continuing their lives as normal. Like I order Grab food every day. I tip my Grab motorcycle like like every day I do that, and there's people out on Grab. I jumped on a Grab motorbike the other day, got on the back of it, and headed down Sukhumvit Road on it. Paid the guy, tipped him, and then he went and picked up another person. I went to the Tesco and bought some stuff. I went down the street. So even though and I'm not trying to minimize that there is suffering going on, because there definitely is suffering going on caused by, especially the lockdown, the pandemic overall, but the lockdown. Right. But a majority of the economy, just like in the U.S., is still moving. It's still. I went to the dentist, and got a teeth cleaning. The dentist was open. There were 3 dental assistants working in there and a dentist, and I went in there and I got my teeth cleaned. And commerce is still continuing and flowing. So while there is some suffering, it's probably worse outside of Bangkok in the more rural areas. I think it's probably worse. I think they're probably.
See, part of what I'm talking about, Kevin. Part of what I'm talking about is those stories, like what you're saying, is that it's not like in a lockdown situation, but just people doing life, and people need to understand that there are people doing life, and it's fine.
Yeah.
And
I've noticed that.
I hope you keep doing that.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I feel kind of weird because every other YouTube channel that's based in Bangkok right now, they're actually in Thailand for the most part. They're scattering like cockroaches, and I don't mean they're cockroaches. I just mean they're flying to wherever. Most of them need the vaccine, and a lot of it's vaccine related, which I have the vaccine, so I'm a little bit more fortunate in that respect. I came in after, but I'm coming to it, and everyone else is leaving it.
What it is that. What I think too is the ones that did go and they that I know of that kind of escaped to the island, I probably would have done the same thing. I'd rather be on the island than be in Bangkok. That's just me. Yeah. I just don't like. I have no reason whatsoever to be in Bangkok except to take an air flight in and take another one out to go someplace else. But what you were saying about that, the thing with, I could jump on the bike and I might do a video and go through basically downtown Surin. Okay. You'd never know that anything is going on. It's busy as hell. Everything's open, because we don't depend on tourism. They only come here once a year, and that's for the elephant festival deal. The rest of the time, it's the local expats and the Thai people that buy the Thai feed, that support the food vendors and all this kind of stuff. So it isn't quite as bad. Now, some other rural areas, it might be different, but Surin's gotten quite big. A lot of people think it's maybe this little bitty town or city, or whatever. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big city. But you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Now, in the last lockdown, that you could. I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I was going stir crazy. I'd been 3 months in the hospital and 2 months in the house, and I could just barely walk with a walker. And I made her load my ass up in the truck and just drive around. Said, I've just been tired of staring at 4 walls. And she drove me around, and the streets were pretty bare, not very many people open. Totally different thing now. Let me say hi to a couple of people. Hey, old man. Hey, Bobby, what's happening? And who else did I miss? I think that's it. That's it. Okay. But yeah, so I guess it all depends. I think the more Pattaya, the towns that, like I saw, what is it, NVIT or something? The two
Nick
guys.
Bean, NDTVI. Nick Bean.
God, I can never get that
and
right.
Martin.
He did one in Krabi, and Krabi I went to twice with my wife when I first met her and her family. We did a vacation there.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most devastation I've ever seen. And I seen him do a lot of stuff on Pattaya, everything else. But I'd been through Krabi and driving down the same streets he was driving down. Nothing open. Nothing. And they're talking about Krabi's supposed to be the next sandbox. Whether it happens or not, I hope it does. I hope it happens, because what they can say whatever they want to about Phuket. Oh, they shouldn't have done it. The schools are still closed. Whine. You know what? 12,000 people have went through there. Half of them were tourists, and half of them were, live here, have family here. They still were spending money. You talk to the people on the streets there and stuff like that, and they're saying, yeah, we noticed a difference. There's people walking where there was nobody. Is it the same as before? No, of course not. But they got to just let it go, man. Get people jabbed up. I don't believe in the vaccine, but I'll be the first one. Hit me as soon as you can. I don't care. I told this to James. He did a thing he showed where all the vaccinations he's gotten from the service.
Yeah.
That we could draw your blood, and we ought to be able to get some kind of antibodies to save the freaking world.
So Kevin and I could both
exactly
our same records,
same
I'm
thing.
sure.
Yeah, when he
Yeah,
showed his
Kevin,
record.
I had 12 gamma globulin shots. I don't know about you, Kevin, but I had 12.
I got my yellow card.
Yeah, I've had over a dozen anthrax shots and boosters. Like that's
I don't know how many I've had.
It's charged from.
Just
Yeah,
he showed it. I told him we could make.
Mitch, I forgot, Mitch. You could do the same thing as,
that's right.
as Kevin.
It is.
We got like, ow!
My daughter,
I've got 17 just for STDs.
Well, now, to be honest, let's just take a step back for a second. That Mitch getting shots for STDs was probably a necessary evil.
Oh no, I haven't.
Something that and something that probably.
oh shit!
I'm just kidding, Mitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was. It came with the job.
But it doesn't matter to me. If it kills me, it kills me. I don't think it will. My wife's going to make me stay in the hospital overnight, and I just let her run amok. You want to do whatever you want to save me. Who am I to say, you're wrong? What is it going to cost me? 2,000 baht, and I'll, and she'll stay in the room with me, and whatever. But it has to. It has to be done. I want to. Like the people in America, I know are going absolutely ape shit that the government's saying if you work for the government, you're mandatory. You got to get shots.
Yeah,
they got to be just shit in a brick. Excuse my French.
But
but it, for me, it's a no-brainer because eventually it's going to roll into you cannot even get on our aircraft unless you've been vaccinated. You cannot travel. You want to stay in your home country and live your life out. That's fine. But if you're going to travel and want in other countries, they're all going to mandate that you have to have the vaccine. So I'm just going to get it. And I see people like Mitch and Gator and Kevin. They're not growing extra arms and legs yet, so I feel fairly confident.
So if you guys, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but after I retired from the military, I became a corporate lawyer and I worked for pharmaceutical companies. And my expertise was expert witnesses and epidemiology. And so I would deal with a lot of the doctors that were in charge of developing these things. And I can tell you right now, they're not evil people with an agenda to try to microchip you. They're people that have devoted their lives, similar to other people like that are nurses and other kinds of doctors. They've devoted their lives to like trying to cure disease. And so for me, you can only make judgments on your own life and your own experience and perspective. But being exposed, number one, being exposed to so many different vaccines and smallpox and anthrax and all that kind of stuff,
right?
And then also working behind the scenes with these companies. And I'm not saying they're innocent because some of them have done stupid things, especially with like opioids. But when you're talking about the doctors developing vaccines, like those people are like, for lack of a better term, like doing God's work. They're trying to cure diseases like that. They devoted their whole life to it. They went to school for 13 years to do that, not to put a microchip into somebody,
And I believe that. The only thing with me is when they normally take 3 to 5 years to push something
That's
through.
legitimate.
And
Yeah, that's
you know,
legitimate. Sure.
That's
a
it
legitimate.
just
process.
it concerns me a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
trust me, that's legitimate. I mean, in 5 years we might all drop dead because there was no long-term study, and you do need, I mean, normally a drug gets a long-term study.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's a legitimate concern. But the technology behind the vaccines has been studied in depth, and it's pretty safe.
Yeah, like I said, I really don't have a choice. To me, and you as a traveler, anybody, if I was going to retire here in Thailand and I didn't have to worry about it, I probably wouldn't take it if I wasn't going to travel. But I think, like right now, my wife, because she's had the 2 shots of the Sinovac or whatever it is, the Chinese one, she's able to semi travel Providence to Providence without any kind of quarantine. If I go to another province, I think I have to do a quarantine. That might be something you might want to check out. But I think if they're the same level, you'll find out. But
yeah, so I went to my dentist the other day, and I was communicating with them over Facebook, and I said, "Hey, I've been vaccinated," and they said, "Can you send us your vaccination card?" And so when I got there, the dentist was like, "Oh, you got the Jensen vaccine. That's the one we want. Like, we're not worried about you. You can do whatever you want. You're fine. Don't even worry about wearing a mask." I still wear a mask because I don't want the nurses there to be intimidated or something. So I kept the mask on until they were examining my teeth. But the doctor was like, "Oh, I'd give anything to have that Jensen vaccine." So I feel really fortunate to have that, to have that, and to Thailand to view it so favorably personally. And I'm not trying to get in like a political debate with people, because I think you have to base whether or not you take the vaccine based on your own personal situation and what your experience is. But I'm just telling people, in my experience, based on my past and the things I've done, I feel 100% perfectly safe getting it.
I'm going to put up
and it kills me, I lived a good life.
Dirty old man's, because I didn't know, but he's saying the statement wasn't entirely correct. What the government is doing is putting the vaccination requirement in the new contractors' contacts that are to be bid out. So anybody that's working for the government needs to. And I'm imagining Dirty Old Man's got it right. Mine was just hearsay.
I saw something with the military that I've never seen before. It's an option, and that is unheard of. Like that, like in the military to have a vaccine.
Yeah, they just tell you what. Yeah, tell you what you're going to get. Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten 13 anthrax shots. Even though, what do you think? What is the real risk of someone on a Navy ship getting an anthrax attack? Probably zero. Gotta be. So I'm shocked by that. So.
Yeah, I don't know, but like I said, I know for a fact, or in my mind anyway, for a fact, that if I leave, eventually Thailand and probably every country is going to require that you have some kind of documentation that says you're either have it or up to date on your boosters, whatever the I'll unmute you here. Hold on, I had you muted, Jake. Well, they're gonna want that, and I want to travel. First thing I want to do, of course, I just looked. In other words, I'm glad that I looked at my passport yesterday, because my 90-day check-in is on the 8th, so I got to go do that. But granted, I get to go to the new. That's not under 5 minutes from here and not an hour away. I believe I get to go to the new government center and get it done. And I think I can do it online. After you've done it once, Kevin, so supposedly you could do it online. You could do your 90-day check-in. You don't have to go in, which I kind of rather prefer, because my wife just informed me that all of the people that work.
Take care, Robert.
The people that worked. Hey, Robert. See you later. In the immigration, the hour away one, have all come down with COVID, and they are all now under quarantine. So they got a whole new group of people out there and a whole new group of people in there. So I'm sure they don't want to see people either. When they were doing it out there, they had a big carport outside. They had chairs that were socially distanced apart. They had big plastic people stuff in front of their tables all the way down to here, down below, and they still all got it. So, granted, might not even have been the people that brought it in. Could have been another, employee, that brought it in, which probably was more likely that that's the way it went down. But anyway, he got it. So I've got to do that. And I think they're going to come up with a passport or some kind of a extra stamp that you get that shows that you've been vaccinated in your deal and when you were vaccinated.
So Thailand has an
Hey,
app.
Johnny.
The Thai government has an
Johnny.
app called Thailand Plus that they make you download when you come in. It's connected to immigration, and it tells your risk level, and you get a QR code that you can scan at the airport. So like right now, my risk level says very low risk because I've been vaccinated, which is the lowest risk category for Thailand. And so I just go to the airport and scan this QR code at immigration, and I'll pop up as very low risk. I don't know if it allows me to travel yet, but I think that's the plan with this. And Thailand makes anybody coming in country right now has to have this Thailand Plus downloaded and has to be uploaded into it.
So basically, they're working for they're probably getting a kickback from the smartphone manufacturers because basically you cannot go to Thailand unless you have a smartphone. Although I think that everybody on this planet, 99.9% now has a, except for the few friends of mine that are trying to shuck the what do you call it, the new stuff. They still have a flip phone. I've got a friend that actually still has a flip phone. I go, how can that thing still work? It's got to be 15 years old. But some people aren't. But I guess to get a good. I like Apple. I had Android since they came out, and I've had Apple for like 10, 12 years now, and I really like the Apple. I don't know. I got an iPad too, so.
Yeah, I'm an Apple guy. I have a MacBook Pro. It's really easy to film. You just drop it into your MacBook and it makes it really easy.
Now I don't know. Have you ever watched Dana and what is it called? Mitch Studio.
Idea Studio.
Idea Studio.
Yeah.
It's he's a good guy. Anyway, he has some good stuff. But he's into that. He just bought him and his wife new Macs. They swear by them. I've never gone that far. I've always had Windows, but I want to. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sucked into the Apple ecosphere. I got the Apple Watch. I'm not even a watch wearer. I just started wearing it when I got this because it tracks all your biometrics. Like you can do a little EKG and all that kind of stuff. I had one too. Not before. I don't have it now. Blood alcohol, or not your blood alcohol, your blood oxygen level now. Which is what they check for COVID. So,
and that's what mine was. See, when I got sick, that's why they thought that maybe I would have been the first person infected because I was in there. But my doctor said if you were, everybody in ICU, including me, all the nurses, it was January 1st that I was in there. That we would have all got sick.
Probably would have killed you. It probably would have killed you at the beginning. They wouldn't have known how to treat it. They wouldn't have known most people who went in originally didn't make it.
Well, I didn't. I almost didn't make it. I mean, I'd died 3 or 4 times, but my doctor kept me alive. Yeah, I was on a ventilator for 2 months. 2 months on a ventilator.
You can get a test that'll tell you if you had it.
Really?
You can actually get a test. Yeah, I went and got that.
I might
test.
do that but somebody else told me that you could have had it and not transmitted it. You could have it and not be a carrier, give it to people.
Yeah.
So,
it's just like any other virus. Some people can carry it and not transmit it.
Everybody that told me, they said, you had it. That was what it was. That was what it was. My doctor said, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, you can get an antibody test and verify that.
Maybe I'll do that. He'll get cranky though. He'll say that I don't trust him, but I'd like to know because if I've had it, I've got antibodies for it, right? If I've had COVID, you have immune built up to it. But he said I just had a severe case of pneumonia, like one of the most severe he's ever seen, and that's why he said
pneumonia can be an offshoot. Like my mother got COVID and then she got pneumonia because of having COVID. So it
He
can be an
told me
awesome-
that every day that he came in, when I first came in there for the first 2 weeks, and after the first 3 days, they morphined me up and just loaded me, and sleeping pills basically put me in an induced coma because I was kept on trying to pull it out. Even they had my arms tied down, I was pulling those out. So he put it in there, but he goes, every day I'd come in, and his mind would be, I wonder if Dave's alive or dead today. Let's go check. And he never took his eyes off of me, my wife said. Even when he did his rounds, he would never leave more than 15 minutes. He'd come back in, he'd be talking to somebody else, but his eyes would be looking at me, making sure I was breathing. He was a good man. Wouldn't take nothing. I tried to give, no, we can't take anything. We're not allowed to take anything. I said, I want to get you something. I think I think he's into art a little bit, and I've got some paintings back in the States that are nice. I think I might have them sent over here and just kind of sneak it in his office and go, oh,
You're talking
somebody
about the
must have
band Heart? You're talking about
The
the
what?
band Heart?
No, art.
Oh, I thought you said
Art,
heart.
art.
He's in the
I've got some heart stories for you later, Kevin.
Yeah, I got some vinyl I could give him. I wonder if it's worth anything. I'm sure it is. Yeah, so I've got, like people still ask, what are the hospitals like? Is it good? Some of the best care I could have gotten in the world. And
my dental care yesterday was amazing. Like it was, I've had dental work done here before. And they were so attentive and it was so cheap, and I tried to give them more money, and I was like, no, they weren't attentive because they thought I was a pocketbook, because they barely charged me anything.
Right.
So they were just attentive because that's just the nature of the healthcare system here.
I still don't understand how these people sometimes can make anything. It's hard for me to relate that 100 baht is a lot of money. It's $3, to me. But 100 baht to some Thai person on the street, I could eat for 3 days, maybe 4 days if I stretch it out, So it makes a difference. Like I said, I had the front and rear camera and all that equipment put on the Forza. 2 guys worked on that for almost 8 hours. And I paid them 400 baht.
Wow.
So what is that? 3, 6, 9, $12.
You had a camera?
$12 for 2. I put camera recording cameras on the front and the rear. So if I get hit or something, it's a big thing here in Thailand.
For YouTube, I was like, man, you are.
Well, that's why I got
it.
That's why I got it, because the cameras are 1080p. And they're Sony cameras, and I have one video showing the video out of the front. So when I do start riding, I can use that video. It'll take a 256 card, so it'll keep recording, and I can press it. It'll keep that section that I want and not loop it. So not that it would. Yeah, it's nice. So I had 2 motives in that: one to use for YouTube, and one in case you get hit. Like in the truck, all the vehicles here, they all have cameras, just in case. But yeah, 400 baht, 2 guys. Then when I had the back boxes, the side boxes, I put the back box and the rack on, which I probably shouldn't even done because it was so cheap. But the 2 side boxes, they needed to drill and put bolts through. When I looked at it, I just took the whole thing over to them. One guy from 11 o'clock, I went and picked it up at 8:30 that night, 300 baht. $9. $9.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was
Now,
watching
granted,
that guy.
I'm like you. I'm an over tipper. I'm like you. My mom was was a waitress her whole life. Single mom, single parent. She just, so I'm always, my wife is, no, you too much. But, like that, for 300 baht there, I gave him 150 baht. She said, no, that's too much.
It's hard to get your head wrapped around.
Run.
Like the amount of money you're giving them, like that is significant. It's hard. Like I took that Grab motorbike the other day, and I think it was like 57 baht. Actually, it wasn't
Right.
even that, lower than that. And so I just gave him 100 baht, and I said, keep the change. And he was like, no. Try to give me money back. And it's like a
Yeah,
buck,
they're-
it's like a $1.50 tip. And I'm like, man, you like drove me 14
But they just-
kilometers.
They're just
Like-
not used to it. It's really weird because in Costa Rica it was the same way. They don't tip, except where I was in Coco. If it's a tourist town, the people that are working in the tourist town are so in tune to getting tips that if you don't tip them, they get cranky. You know, they look at you and give you attitude. But the norm there is they don't expect tips. But me, because of the way I was brought up, that's why my mom made a living. She didn't make it on the $2 an hour.
I feel uncomfortable if I don't tip. I feel uncomfortable.
Me
if I don't
too.
tip.
Me too.
I feel like awkward
exactly.
and uncomfortable. And I
Exactly
don't know
the
if
same.
you guys ever been to Japan, but Japan you can't tip. Like they won't accept it. It's like insulting. And I don't know if you've ever experienced.
I've never been.
that.
No, I've never been to Japan.
Yeah, I remember one time I left money on the table for a tip, not realizing it, and the lady literally chased me down the street, and I was like, no, it's a tip. She would not accept it because over there it's insulting. Like you're telling them they don't make enough money. Here's some charity. So it's weird when you're out. You know, the U.S. is such a tipping culture, primarily because we don't pay. We've
no. I think my mom. I think.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
don't
I think she made.
them.
I think she made $2.50 an hour as a waitress.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah,
and this is a long time ago. But
yeah, not to disrespect businesses, but it's kind of a scam. Businesses have offloaded the responsibility of paying their employees onto the customer, where in the rest of the world, the businesses pay the employees. You know, it's not, since tipping's not a culture. Like in Japan, it's insulting because you're telling them they don't make enough money. It's like it's like a safe face kind of thing. So you don't tip anywhere in Japan. Anywhere they will chase you down with the money.
Bobby from Time to Get Going. He's his wife and them are right from Surin, and he said Jai doesn't want to tip anything. She's so tight, and they didn't do that in Surin. I do it here, Bobby, only because I don't know. I feel obligated because my mom made minimum wage. It was always waitresses, always made at or below minimum wage, and then my mom is Miss Catholic, religious, you know, church 7 days a week, whole thing. She claimed everything. And mom, you don't need to claim that. You know, you don't need to claim that much. Oh yes, I can't. You know, I can't cheat the government. I said I can. Give me the money. I'll cheat them. You know, but she wouldn't do it. So you know, she was living and doing everything exactly like she was supposed to. And she had to support me and my brother and the house, you know, everything else. It wasn't easy for her. And you know, every little bit helped. So I always overtipped, always my whole life, you know, even in America.
What's funny about Thailand is overtipping's not a lot. Like, again, I gave that guy I don't know what 50 baht is, maybe $1.50.
Yeah.
I gave him about 50 baht. Like I just gave him 100 baht for the ride. I mean, that ride in the U.S. in a city equivalent to Bangkok would have cost me $45.
Yeah,
exactly. So it cost, you know, in New York, it would have cost me $45. And it cost me like a little bit over $1, and with tip $3. Like it, I would just feel I would feel wrong. Like I feel like he spent more gas.
It seemed to me, at least here in Surin, and maybe because, you know, maybe there's actual taxi work there a lot more than normal or whatever. But the people here now, especially when we were dining in at the restaurants, were appreciative of being able to make a little bit more money right now because they didn't have, or they could help out their uncles, their aunts, their family. You know, it helped them a little bit. But I never got a weird look like, oh, you didn't leave enough money or you didn't leave money. Never from any Thai person, you know. And mostly 9 times out of 10, the first thing response is you paid too much. I had one lady come running out of the restaurant to flag us down because I left her 150 baht tip. You left money. You left too much money. No, that's for you. No, it's okay. You left. No. Take.
And that's like $5.
Yeah. And they do. Yeah, they just.
Which would be considered a terrible tip in the U.S.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I feel
Right.
like
You know,
I'm
like-
giving nothing. I feel like I'm giving
Yeah.
nothing. But
That's
that
what
one,
makes it dynamic really
I got to
interesting.
run, Dave.
you got to go. Okay,
Got an
I'm
early
gonna
commute,
close
a
it up
long
fairly soon.
commute. Don't stop
All
on
right,
my account. Don't stop
No,
on my
no,
account.
it's okay. I was only going to go an hour and a half, but I might go another 25, 30
Yeah,
minutes.
you're good for 20, 30 minutes.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Take care, everyone. Thanks,
See you,
Kevin.
Nick.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it just was always something that I just did. And I worked in restaurants when I was young. My aunt and uncle owned, when they came over from the East Coast, they came to Hollywood, and on Hollywood Boulevard in I think it was before I was born, 55, 54, they opened up a Paisano's Pizza on Hollywood Boulevard and had
That's
it for
awesome.
a long time. And then they opened up all these restaurants and took over bowling alleys, restaurants and stuff. And my aunt and uncle were quite the little mini entrepreneurs. And I worked for them when I first was 16 or 15. And then went on to basically HVAC for my whole life. But in the beginning, up until I was about 18, I did restaurant stuff and some other stuff too, some interesting stuff. I was one of the first, I would say, maybe 10 people in the United States or maybe even in the world that could make a load cell from start to finish. Because
That's cool.
back then, they didn't want anybody to know how to do the whole process. So someone would do the metal, someone would set the gauges, someone would attach the wires, someone would do all this stuff. And in case anybody doesn't know what load cell is, kind of in the digital scale, it's actually it measures the flex of metal and converts that over to kilos or pounds or ounces or whatever. But anyway, so I had that. My cousin was involved with, did that for a year. Loaded roofs when I was 14 with tile. And then finally got to air conditioning, and thank God I did. I mean, it was really good for me. It worked out good. But the restaurant industry, they put everything back on the people to pay their employees. They don't do that here anyway. They pay them enough, and it isn't much. The people, they consider 20,000 baht a good salary a month.
Yeah.
So what is that? $700? I don't even know.
I think right now it's $303 for 10,000 baht.
Yeah, so
a little bit for $600 US.
Yeah, so it's $600 for a month, and that's about the same that was in Costa Rica. That was fairly normal if you worked for the hotels and stuff like that. The locals, that was about the normal pay for there. But see, they were very expensive. It was expensive to live in Costa Rica. The only thing that was cheap was the housing. I could get a nice 2-bedroom condo for $500 a month, close to the water, stuff like that. But everything else, food, liquor, everything like that was expensive. And I was in probably one of the biggest tourist towns in Costa Rica. I was there for 8 months. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. It was okay, but wasn't quite me. When I found Thailand, first time I came here, I said, this is it.
Yeah.
No question. Spent 2 weeks, went home, packed up all my stuff, and came back. And that was it. And that was in 2018, November, I think. That's why it's just coming up on 3 years.
To fall in love with, because it's just the standard of living you can have, on a U.S. income. It's insane, and just the Buddhist culture, it's just a really cool place to hang out.
Yeah, and like I said, when I first came here, I was in Phuket. I was in Kamala, and that, like, what's behind me, this is what is me. But I met my wife, and I'm in Surin, and I'm in Isan. But if I had my druthers, I'd probably be in, I said it a million times, in Hua Hin or Pachuap Kurikan. I really, really liked. And it was my kind of thing, a nice low-key, slow-going. Kamala was nice, too. Now it's dead, but I really like the water and the ocean. And maybe someday I'd have to move my whole family. And I'm just building the house. My wife's all excited about it. She's not going to go anywhere. But if I did move, I'd have to take my family, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, everybody. So, which isn't out of the question. I mean, if she could, because TOT has has places, their offices all over Thailand, every province, and so we could possibly, find something. But she's been there 20 years. She really, really enjoys her job. She likes to
Yeah.
she likes to work. She likes the people.
Yeah.
They're all her 20-year friends. They all work. That's one thing I notice about Thai people is, like me when I was younger. How many jobs have you had in the last 5 years? I don't know, 26.
Yeah.
Thai people for 20 years they've had the same job. They get a good job.
Yeah.
They don't leave. They
Yeah.
make the money. They don't move, which I can't blame them, because for her, she paid for her mom and dad's place, their electric bill, their food, a apartment in Bangkok, for her mom to go every weekend, her mom to travel back and forth to Bangkok on a bus or a train, so that the kids didn't have to stay in the boarding school she paid for, the food for the boarding school. And basically what to say is that she sat here and ate rice while the rest of her family could live and learn something. It's just amazing. And the way that her children turned out. And like I said, I'm blessed, man. I couldn't have choreographed a better ending to my life, except maybe if my wife wouldn't have died. That would probably be the only thing. But what I've got now, I don't know. I said luckier than shit. I just amazing. That
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
because
that's what attracted me to your channel, was just listening about like your story, and just you guys put more of a positive spin on Thailand. I mean, you don't sugarcoat anything, but you're not like complaining about some of the things. You appreciate what's right and aren't so much concerned about what's wrong.
No.
Right?
And like I said, I would come right now. People ask me, they say, well, would you come to Thailand now if you weren't here? Yeah, in a heartbeat. Even if it was a 50-50 chance that I went to the sandbox and I got thrown in an ASQ and had to do a lockdown or a quarantine of 14 days, I'd still take my chances and come. Not a doubt in my mind.
Yeah. I mean, that's the number one question I'm getting right now in my Thailand videos. Like, why are you going to Thailand now? And I'm like, because I want to be in Thailand, man. That's why. Because I want to be in Thailand. I feel safe. I'm a low risk for people. I'm not. If I didn't have the vaccine and I was going to put people at risk, I probably wouldn't. But I'm very, very low risk, and I'm not like, I'm not out and about like putting myself in bad positions. I'm not really worried about myself. If I'm worried about anything, it's like impacting other people. So I'm not going to put myself in that position anyway. I can just enjoy, I can open up the door and enjoy Thailand.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bobby, I've got mine too. She's not an RN, but she has proven that she will take care of me. That's for sure. Bobby says he's got someone that'll change his diapers. He has his own RN. His wife is an RN. But,
awesome.
Even the people that, like I said, I think that the normal Social Security is about $1,500 or $1,600 a month. I think for a normal person, $3,000 for a couple. And can you, if you're not gonna, if you're 65 years old and you're chasing women around, you're gonna die anyway. I mean, so but if you're, if you're single and you're 65 and you want to come to Isan or you want to come to Thailand, live out your days, maybe a great possibility that you will meet a great woman here. This is the place to be on $1,500. Where are you going to go? If you didn't pay for your home in those 65 years and you had to rent a place, any place in California, forget it. You're going to pay $1,500 just for a 1-bedroom apartment, Yeah. So, where are you going to go? You can come here, get a nice place for $300 or $400 a month. You can live on your $1,500. You're not going to catch the world on fire. And,
you can get a 2-bedroom and your family can come visit you and take vacations in Thailand. It's to me,
it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me. But with me too.
What I really wanted to do on my channel was introduce people to not only Thailand, but other places too. Like, I really love Malaysia. I really like, Vietnam. I really like Laos. I wanted to introduce people to because I have a
Right.
huge van life audience that like travel full time in their RVs, and
Right.
they're, you know, a lot of them are retired, and show them like, hey, I know that's fun for you, but if you want to try something else, like come live in Thailand for 3 months, you know,
Exactly.
and see what you think. Just come and see what you think.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, dirty old man, that's a good question. My wife did it. I don't know how the hell she did it. She got, probably financed it over 6 years, and the truck that's out there, she bought and paid for, and the land that we're building the house on, she bought and paid for that too. Now, my wife will buy shit off of Facebook and redo it, or buy shit from friends and sell it. She'll make, to me, nothing. She'll make 100 baht here, 200 baht there, whatever, but it's a lot of money to her. But I think they have little side gigs that they do to make a little bit extra money to be able to pay for. And that was a new truck also. But see,
yeah.
with me, to get back on the other thing, is when I turned, okay, let me put it this way. I think I was 62, 63, 64. I was almost 62, I think, or 62 when my wife passed away. And at that point, the only woman that did not look like an old grandma to me was my wife, because we've been married for 30 years. She still looked like the same woman, a little bit older, but I look at her friends, oh, that's a grandma. That's a grandma. And in my mind, it was like I'm still 35. It's like if I didn't have a mirror in my house and I didn't have all the aches and pains in my body, I would think I was 35. When I looked at women, I'm going, there's no way. There's no way I can date in the United States. Not that it was a top priority. When I came to Thailand, I knew eventually, I figured maybe 3-4 years, maybe I'll meet somebody, that would at least be my friend or a travel companion, something. And by meeting her, it was like she was 39 years old or 38 years old when I met her, and I was 62. So it was perfect. I'm going, this is perfect. This woman actually looked at me, hasn't asked me for money, hasn't asked me, to give her anything, except for companionship, love, and this. And like I said, maybe not everybody's going to get lucky, but if you can, I said it before, if you can't tell the difference between meeting a woman, first of all, forget about the 25-year-olds and 26 years old. That's just ridiculous. First of all, I didn't want somebody that wanted to go out and party every night, because I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm asleep. I'm up at 4:30, but I go to sleep at 9 o'clock. So it wasn't for me. But visually, my wife is stunning, and what I expect to be with, because I think I'm 35. Now, me with a 65-year-old woman would never happen. It would be my whole mind would be, do you realize you're kissing and you're groping a grandma? What are you doing? So it's never going to happen. But if you want to come here as first of all, a 55-year-old man, most of the women that I've talked to and all of my wife's friends, every time I met them, I've told you the people here before, first thing out of their mouth, do you have someone you can set me up with? I want to, do you have a friend? Do you have this? Do you have, they want to meet Americans or foreigners, but they want that age, 50, 55. First off, they're retired. Doesn't matter that whether they get a 1,500 or 2,000 or they have a retirement. They're stable as hell compared to the men that they're going out with at 38 years old, which they're not really going, because they almost consider themselves over the hill at 35. They didn't think they'd ever be with anybody, the Thai women. And this is all what I'm being told from my wife and her friends. But they feel secure because, first of all, I was 62, but I did my running around. Was I an honest, good guy when I was younger? No. Would I have been the perfect boyfriend or husband? No. But now I think I am. I don't drink. I don't go out. I don't stay at bars. I don't carouse. It's perfect. So if that's your state of mind, Thailand is the perfect place to be, because you'll find some woman that will honestly, be attracted to you, because it doesn't matter why, but they like the stability. They like to be able to know, I don't have to work if I don't want to. This person's going to take care of me for the rest of my life. or their life anyway. That's the only down draw. If you're 50, 55, how long are you going to live, and you're with a 35 or, 40-year-old woman. But I couldn't ask for anything better. I mean, my wife is phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Hey,
I can
William.
give you another perspective too. I mean, I'm 45, right?
Right.
And I'm on the dating apps here in Thailand. I don't do the bar scene type of thing. I did, I mentioned this before. I was in the Navy for 20 years. I've been coming to Thailand since 98. Navy ships always pull into Thailand. I mean, Pattaya exists because of the U.S. military.
Exactly.
That's why it exists. So I did all that kind of crazy, dumb stuff you do when you're young. I mean, I still consider myself young. Like you said, you still consider yourself in your 30s. I kind of consider myself in my 20s as a 45-year-old. But I don't I'm not going to go. The bar scene's just not my thing. It's actually honestly never really been my scene. I've never been a nightclub guy, kind of an introvert. But the dating apps here, I'll give you two sides. So dating Thai women is obviously not too hard on the dating apps for a Western guy. Finding for me, one of my qualifications is that they speak pretty good English. That's a little bit harder to find, but it hasn't been completely difficult here in Bangkok. I've only been on one date, by the way, and it was with a Thai woman who spoke really good English. She's in finance. She works at a bank, and she spoke great English because she needs it for her job.
Right.
But on the other side of the coin, I will tell you, it's also really easy to date Western women in Thailand for a Western man, because most men come to. So there are tons of Western women in Thailand, right? There are digital nomad women. There are a lot of yoga instructors that come here. There are a lot of Thai as a second language instructors that come here from Europe, from Australia, from the United States, from Canada. There are tons of Western women here. And because most men come here and date Thai women, when you're a Western man on dating apps like Bumble, which is more of a US-centric, a more Western country-centric dating app, it's called Bumble.
Okay.
It's really easy to date Western women. So if you're watching this live stream and you're like, well, I don't really like Thai women, I'm not, the language barrier maybe might be an issue for me, and you want to date Western women, it's actually much easier to date Western women in Thailand as well, because most of the men who are in Thailand want to date Thai women. So if the Western women primarily want to date Western men, they don't want to date Thai men, you're a small pool of men as a Western man that dates Western women in Thailand. And so it's actually it's actually been very easy to connect with Western women on the dating app, especially here in Bangkok, because there's so many Western women that work here in the different, finance industries and the teaching industries, teaching yoga, all that kind of stuff that comes along with being in Thailand. So
that's
from
great.
another perspective, as a single guy, it's actually easy to date here too. If you're young, if you're younger and thinking about coming to Thailand, or even if you're older and you want to date, in the United States, I might get one or two matches of women that are Western that are in their 30s. But here in Thailand, I get, dozens and dozens of Western women in their 30s that, match with me on these dating apps.
I think I would have to. I mean, I see. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I guess if that's what you're into, I always liked Asian women my whole life anyway. Yeah. And you know what? I dated so many Western women, and shit, I had enough of the little princesses. And now they're probably different people here. They're probably, because they're here, they're different. But some of the ones, and granted,
well, it exposes you to other.
Right, avenues, sure.
When you're in the US, you only date US women usually. But when you're in a country like an international country like Bangkok that has so much international business, I match with a lot of European women, with a lot of Australian women, with a lot of women from New Zealand, with a lot of women from Scotland. So it's you're getting all different kinds of women in there, if that makes sense. Not
Right.
just, I would say the U.S. women are probably maybe one or two I've connected with on Bumble, but most of them are actually Europeans that are here that speak English and are here teaching English, or yoga is a big thing,
And
like yoga.
yeah, and I'm sure that they're they're good people, but like I understand what you're saying, because if let's say somebody's here and they're not particularly they love Thai people, but it's not their deal to date one.
Yeah.
That's a big option. There's women here that can't really get a date. That you could
Yeah.
you could hit things off with, because there are. I shouldn't really say what I said, because I'm talking about USA women, because I never really. I dated one gal from the UK, was kind of interesting. I kind of like that accent, that they have.
But even in the
But,
U.S., you're from California, so you're like,
right.
I'm from Missouri. Like, women from Missouri are much different than women from California. Women
Yeah.
from California are much different than women from Texas. Like, so even in the
Right.
United States, like diversity in dating, so and it's the same way in Thailand, but it's even more diverse. So I just wanted to give that other perspective, because a lot of guys think, okay,
yeah,
like,
that's awesome. I know I did. I
go
thought
to
that
Thailand
way.
and you just date Thai women.
No, it makes
maybe
perfect
someone's
sense.
not into that. Yeah,
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's much easier to date Western women here, just because the pool of, and I'm not trying to say that Western women don't date Thai men, but Western women don't come to Thailand to date Thai men normally, where a lot of
Right.
U.S. men come to Thailand to
Right,
date
for
Thai women.
Thailand.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, I'm not trying to like stereotype people, but most Western women want to date Western men. And so, because there's the pool of Western men here that want to date Western women is so small, if that's what you want to do, there's plenty of options for you, especially in a city like Bangkok. I haven't tried it outside of Bangkok. I don't know. It might be completely different when I get outside of Bangkok. But from
It
my
might be
experience,
it might be a little bit, because Bangkok obviously is going to draw a lot of people that their jobs are going to be in Bangkok, because that's where all the international stuff is, But it makes perfect sense. I think if that's what that you're looking for, that could be a great thing. Like I said, I've always been attracted to Asian women from when I was young. And then when I was young, when I was riding my panhead and basically living on it from when I was, in my early 20s, most all the women that I were dating were not exactly the best women in the world. They were, working in topless bars, and that's where I was, on the bike. And they're a whole different breed. The women that do that, and granted, a lot of them are screwed up, and probably some of the most interesting conversations that I've ever had in my life has been after hours, sitting down and inviting them over to the house and sitting down and drinking beers, hearing their stories about what they went through in their life and how they ended up where they were. And be surprised, a lot of them were, I'd sit there and go, you're an intelligent gal. What are you doing? And the money didn't hurt either. Back then, when I was, how many years ago? If I was 20, 40, 50, 45 years ago or whatever it was, $300-400 a night, topless dancing, $1 at a time, $5, Hell, we're back then, unless they were, a college grad and working for, Amazon or something, they weren't going to make that kind of money. That's why a lot of people look down at waitresses. Hell, my cousin went to make her money. She went to Denver, Colorado, or Aspen, Colorado, and waited tables at one of the high-end restaurants there, and made $1,000 a week just in tips, way back when. And a lot of people look down on waitresses for some reason. I don't understand that, but it's, I guess, the way that people are sometimes. That's what I try to pride myself on nowadays, is I'm equal with everybody. Everybody's equal with me. No one better, no one worse.
People's story. You never know people's backstory. Like,
No. And it's very interesting too. That was, like I said, some of the most interesting, not the sex, not anything with the girls, but the interesting thing was sitting down with them and hearing their life stories, you know, and what they went through. And the weird thing is that I would say 90% of the girls that I talked to were all raped at a very young age, and usually by family members. And that's way out of, you know, that would thoroughly floored me, because that was the common factor pretty much with all the girls. And, you know, it was sad, you know, and it was hard for me to hear, because I just never quite understood that. I mean, stuff I went through, we beat up, you know, people that beat up women and beat up children and rape children, that if we knew that, they didn't last the night without getting beat up, you know. But you know, it's a strange, that's a whole different strange thing. I never understood that, how pedophiles can get out of jail. I mean, if anybody ever touched my children and I found out that they were like 18-time losers, I would find out who the judges were, who the juries were, who the people involved that defended these people, and I'd go back and make a mess out of all of them, because they just keep the thing. It's a sickness. You don't just go, oh, okay, I'm better now. I don't like 5-year-old boys. You know, it doesn't work that way. But somehow the court system can't figure that out. But I don't know how I got on this tangent. But anyway,
I used to, before I defended corporations, I was a juvenile defense attorney, and I would in Washington D.C., and I would defend juveniles, and I'd say 90 to 95% of my clients, and these were like clients that had done some pretty bad things, 90 to 95% of them were victims of sexual abuse, like by family members, like in a unfathomable type of way, like that you wouldn't even, you kind of, so I always, that's what really taught me to like, that wasn't the only thing, but one of the things that taught me to, you never know a person's backstory. Like I had a kid, I had this, and I'll just share this one story that kind of speaks to what you were saying. I had this young man who robbed somebody at gunpoint. He actually didn't have a gun. He acted like he did. And he got arrested. He was 13 years old, big black kid, kind of scary looking to people. But then I started peeling back the layers on his story. He was born to a crack addicted mother who had AIDS. She died. She was living with some guy. He took over custody of the kid, raped the kid from the time he was like 6 months old till he ran away at like 10. The kid started, ran away at 10, and he would rob people to pay for food. And so when you hear that story, you're a little bit more sympathetic to why the kid was robbing people, right? It completely changed it. If I just stick the kid in front of you and show you this big black kid who
you just think bad things. You
just think back. But when I tell you the backstory, this kid was systematically raped for decades, or for a decade, by some guy, some crack addicted guy that his mother passed away and left him with. The system really failed this kid, right? And now the system's trying to like put the clamps on him, like, dude, you're the reason he turned out this. And he was a good kid too, by the way. We ended up getting him a lot of like psychological help, and he ended up like really being into computers and got into like a work, like a Job Corps type of program doing computer programming. He's a super bright kid. But obviously he had freaking demons, right? He was raped for 10 years. By the time he was 6 months old till he finally ran away from home because, anyway. So you never know what someone's backstory is that brought them to the point of whatever you think is like, whatever you look down upon, whether it's dancing in a club or, whatever you look down upon. Or like my mother, who was a waitress, she had 4 kids. My dad was kind of a dirtbag. She had to support the kids. She was a waitress.
And people look down on her for some reason. And William, I get your point too, but I think it's different here in Thailand, only because I have nothing bad to say about any bar girl in Thailand. 99% of them, 50% of them love what they're doing and wouldn't do anything else, or maybe more. But when they initially went, they were from Isan. They had no money. Their families needed food. They went and did what they needed to do. And they still do what they need to do, and they send their money home. The girls that worked in the bars in California, anyway, I can't really say much for any place else. They had problems. They were raped. They were this, they were that. They did it because their minds were screwy and they could make a lot of money at it was also. But here in Thailand, I would never look down my nose at anybody, first off, because who am I to judge? But they're doing what they needed to do. If I'm anywhere, and even though I consider myself a good person now, if the whole world went to shit because of this virus, and I needed to do whatever I needed to do to take care of my family and feed my family and make sure that they were safe, regardless of the law, I would do whatever I needed to do to make sure that mine were fed. No problem. Not even a hesitation. Whatever it would take, I would do. And that's the way I feel that the Thai people are, especially the women. Granted, they'll go to Bangkok and work in restaurants and as, dress shops and, and work, whatever job they could get. But the ones that want to make some money and send it home and make a lot of money, they go and well, of course not now. Now they're starving. And they won't even let them. That's a whole nother story. They won't let them even do live streams and stuff where they're not hurting anybody and staying in their place and not leaving their place. And, they still shut them down. But that's a whole nother story. And plus it's 2 hours. I think that I think I'm going to end it.
Sorry,
I could
man.
I could go for
talk about some weird stuff.
No, I like it. I think everybody.
Hey, man, everyone's like, talk about Thailand. Don't talk about that.
You know what? But to me, everybody, when we talk about stuff, makes them think. For one thing, if they're thinking about everything else, or they're thinking about good things in Thailand and other stuff, they're not thinking about crap things. Thailand's ugly. Can't go here. It's dead there. I think it gives everybody at least a couple hours of some good time. Hey, Mike, I didn't even notice you were in. I know angry. Oh, Bubba, right? I got that right. Hi, guys. Yeah, I think I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you guys for watching. And I think I'm going to do it in 4 or 5 days. I'll put something out ahead of time. I was jonesing after about 4 or 5 days. I wanted to get out and bullshit with people. So I will see y'all later. And thanks for watching.
Thanks
and
for
I
having
will.
me on, man.
You bet. Anytime. You know that.